Okay, okay, guys, welcome to this webinar tonight. And we are going to be talking about something that's really important, and it's creating our own story. And as I post in Facebook, I've heard many people telling their story, and gosh, most people really, or they go too long, they talk too much, or they don't say anything, or they get scared to death. Tonight, I'm going to show you a formula that actually helps you to create your story. Now, we heard also the secret to a fortune, it is in your list. Now, the follow-up, the fortune is in the follow-up, because obviously you have to have a list. But we must know how to communicate with it. And this is something that most people get nervous, and the reason is because there is not a formula. They don't have a formula. Now, tonight we are going to be talking about that. Now, let's remind something first. This is the six-figure, seven-figure path. This is our system. First, you build your list, then you connect. Now, obviously, you have to have a list to connect. And tonight, we're going to be talking about the connection, but remember the presenting, follow up, teach others to do the same, and repeat the process. This is let me leave it for a second because I know I went too quick. Okay, now tonight we are going to be talking about the first part of a connection, that is having a script. In other words, when I mean a script doesn't mean that you're going to read anything. You're going to see how cool it is, how easy it is. When I learned this years ago, I realized that it was so easy to set up a list, and it's really easy to train it. As a matter of fact, as soon as this call finishes, you are going to be able to train your organization on how to set up their own story. Now, the stories are important because facts tell, the story sells. If you're telling people how great our products are and the telemers thing and that you can make X amount of money, they may get excited, but they want to know why you are in and what is for them. And this is why stories are important. People must know what to do and why. People buy stories, not things. Stories create images on people's mind, and stories are emotional. That's why it's so important to have stories. Now, by the way, when I say emotional, it's not like you're going to have a sad story or drag to reach from zero to a zillion and gosh, with all kind of special effects or anything like that. No, you're going to see how simple it is. A good story has a very factor. First, it has to be short. When I mean short, if you happen to be in an elevator with a person, you have to be able to say the story in the elevator. Must create curiosity, really important. Must have a call to action in it. And this is always so important because you don't want to tell a story and then at the end just leave the whole thing so open that a person doesn't know why you are saying the story anyway. Must cover the business if you want financial freedom, and this is so important. I know many people are product oriented and then they say, yeah, I lost weight or whatever, and they're afraid to talk about the money, even if they're getting paid. I have to tell you one thing, guys. If you got paid one cycle in a month, it's something more than most people are having. Think about that. Now, the formula is really simple, and it's what we call the B plus N plus E plus S. Actually, I put it backwards. It's B plus, well, it doesn't matter. You're going to see it in a second. Let me explain what the formula is. First, B is before Isagenix. Now, think about that. This is where you were before Isagenix, before you knew about Isagenix. And I'm talking even to new people. This applies to where you were before Isagenix. Then your experience in Isagenix until now. Then what is next? In other words, what are your goals for the future? And then the last one, what you share. As you see, the initials are Benz, almost like Mercedes-Benz. But anyway, remember this, before Isagenix, your experience and what is next, and why you share. Now, these 4 points are so important, and I'm going to start with the first one, and it's before Isagenix. Now, where you were before Isagenix. This is so important, guys. When you are talking to people, it's very important that they can see the contrast between before and after. It doesn't have to be a strong product story. For example, Alex lost over 100 pounds, and obviously he doesn't have to talk to people where he was before, at least in his physical part, but he still has to talk about the financial part. However, it's cool to tell people the story. Explain where you were before Isagenix. For example, You can say something like, before Isagenix, I felt old, overweight, and I was living paycheck to paycheck without hope. Now, how long do you think this takes you? And by the way, this is something that is really cool, easy to do. Remember this part. When you are working with people, with your new distributors, always give sometimes, as soon as they sign up, make sure that they create the story, where you were before Isagenix. Okay? Really simple. Before Isagenix, I felt whatever, I was living paycheck to paycheck, etc. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but you see, you can see the picture. Really short, by the way. Now, what is your experience in Isagenix? Where are you now? Explain where you are now in Isagenix. Example, now I feel more energy, I look younger, I release X amount of pounds, and I am getting paid. Now my hope is back. Now, if you're brand new in Isagenix, you can use a third story. For example, you have an amazing story, or you are new. You can say, a friend of mine has released 100 pounds and another already quit her job in less than a year. I know I have hope that I can do it, and I have people helping me or assisting me. Now, when I joined Isagenix, it's interesting, and I'm going to put it in. I have probably about 20 people by the time I got my products. I just was saying, I now can see myself succeeding in this business, and well, I'm getting healthy. And then I was telling the story of Jimmy Smith. At the time, Jimmy, by the way, was making in a month what today make every couple of days. But I was telling this guy is Busher, 75 years old, and he's making a six-figure income from working from his home. And again, that was the story. And we're going to put it together in a second. But you see, you don't have to use your story where you are now. You can use their other person's story. However, you can say, I'm getting excited. I know I'm going to be healthier. This is amazing. This is something amazing. But again, when you're put it together, you're going to see how simple it is. But again, before Isagenix, I'm repeating here. And then, what is your experience until now? And again, it doesn't have to be your story. It could be somebody else's story. And by the way, if you have earned just a couple of $100 per week, still you can say what is accumulated. For example, I have distributors that they said, well, without doing the business really strong, I got to pay several $1,000s. Not only I feel better than ever, but I got paid several $1,000s. If you have been in Isagenix a few years, probably that's true to you too. Now, let's go to the next one. What is next? And this is so important. What is next, or what is your goal in the future? And this is one of the most important parts when you are talking to somebody, because it's when you are going to talk about why you want to dwell in Isagenix right now. This is really, really important. Now, and these are the things that I say, where are you going now? Explain what you're expecting from Isagenix. Example, I expect I will be earning X amount of money and I will quit my job, and also I will run a half marathon for the first time. One of the things that I used to say when I got in Isagenix, I was saying, I expect that I will be earning $10,000 per month or more and I was saying June, because when I started in Isagenix, I was brand new, and I wanted to earn $10,000 a month in 90 days. That's why this for me was so important. But anyway, again, this is what you say. Where are you going? I expect that I will be earning $10,000 per month or more and I will quit my job. I will run a marathon. I will lose 50 pounds, or whatever you want to say. It's really, really simple. Can you see it? This is what is next. Now, many people are really good. For example, let me repeat and put together whatever we have so far now. I said, before Isagenix, I was broke. I didn't have help. I felt that my health was going downhill. I didn't have any energy. And now that I'm in Isagenix, I'm really excited. I feel better than ever. I'm losing weight. And I got paid a few $100s already without doing much. And I'm just starting out. And I know, and this is the next, and I know that I'm going to be earning $10,000 a month by the end of 2013. And I'm really excited because I will be quitting my job and I will run a half marathon for the first time in my life. You see? That's cool. And most people, that have this tree, and it's really exciting because some people get excited and say, "Well, what are you doing? Or tell me more about it." But there is one more, and the one more is going to open more doors than all the first three steps combined. And this is something that I see very, very few people saying when they are telling their story. But again, you say where you were before, where you are now, and where you are going. And now the next one. Why are you sharing? This is really important because sometimes people may say, well, that's great for you, but what about me? And explain why you are sharing. Example. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can make a fortune. By the way, this line, I have been using this line since 1993 when I learned it from a guy called the Pilsen brothers. I forgot his name. Craig, I think was his name. But anyway, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can make a fortune. The reason, and you can say in many ways, the reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can do great things together if you are afraid to say the word fortune. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I know you and I together can have a great health and our families are going to they're going to be able to reach their dreams. You see, this is so important, this four part, that it's going to open a lot of doors. Now, if you're doing a presentation in front of a group, I always say the reason I'm sharing this with all of you is because I know when we improve the health and the wealth of individuals, we can create a better society. And that's the truth. That's the truth. But you see how important it is? Let's put it together. The first one, the B. Before Isagenix, I felt all overweight and I was broke and living paycheck to without hope. Now I feel more energy. I look younger. I released 100 pounds and I'm getting paid now. My hope is back. Next, then N. I expect I will be earning $10,000 or $20,000 per month by the end of 2013. And I will quit my job and I also will have more energy and I look younger than ever and I will be running my first marathon. The reason I'm sharing with you, by the way, is because I know you and I together can make a fortune doing this business. You see, when you use these four elements, your story is really short. Again, before Isagenix, right now in Isagenix, next, what is next in Isagenix, and sharing. Again, before Isagenix, your experience in Isagenix, what is next in Isagenix, and then what you are sharing with people. Really simple formula. When you make sure you wrote these four elements, because when you do this with your organization, they can have stories really quick, really fast, and I tell you, you're going to have way better results yourself when you are talking to people. Now, that's it. You have a short story. You can keep updating it while you use it because every time that your experience is going to improve in Isagenix. You can share this in person, by phone, or even sending a message on social media or by text. You can even write it on an email. Share twice a day or more, and in a year or so less, you may fire your boss. And now start tonight. Start tonight. This is really simple, by the way. Let me correct this now right here. But anyway, you can start tonight practicing this. Really simple, guys. Alex, are you there?
George, I'm here.
Okay. If there are any questions, as you see, I explained the whole thing in about 40 minutes, and imagine how fast you can explain it to your prospects or your distributors. Actually, it's really simple.
Yeah, actually, that's fantastic, and that's the most important step when you get started is actually to get that going. I do have a question here, and Chris is actually asking, "What do you say after hi?" And they say, "What do you do?"
Mhm. Okay, this is a little different for what we are talking about, but this is what I said when I'm talking. And this is, by the way, another class, and we were not here tonight, but let's answer. when a person say, "What do you do?" and I ask, "Do you know that people do network marketing and they don't seem to succeed?" Yeah. Well, I'm a professional in network marketing. I know how to teach people to succeed, or I'm learning how to succeed. I'm really direct on that. I don't want around. I know many people say cute things that probably can work, but I don't like them. Like, for example, some people say, "I kill free radicals for non-profit," or I help people how to retire in 5 years or less. And that could be cool, but I am just direct. I say I'm a professional in network marketing. But I always ask, do you know that many people get in network marketing and they don't make any money? Yes. Well, I know how to do it, or I'm learning how to do it because that's the way that I was doing it when I didn't make any money. I'm working with a millionaire that's telling me how to do it, how to make money working from their home and from my home. And then you can open the door, say, let me tell you the story. It's okay. It's going to take just, you want the long version that's about 50 minutes or the short version that's about a minute? I love to play because I know I can say my story in a minute, like you just said now. But again, you can say, you know, like many people in network marketing, they don't succeed, they don't make any money. Well, I found out I know how to do it. Or I'm working with a millionaire friend of mine that he knows how to do it and I'm learning it. And then you open the door to the story. By the way, would you like me to tell you the story? Do you want the long version that takes 15 or 20 minutes or the short one that's a minute long? Most people are kind of smile, etc., and then you tell your story. You open the door to your story. You know?
Perfect. Okay, so hold on just 1 second. Just a reminder, if you want to type in a question, just go to the top right of your screen to the GoToWebinar control panel and enter your question in the questions panel. So, by the way, George, okay, that graph that you had before explaining those 6 steps that you had in there, if you could please explain those again.
Okay. Yeah, and by the way, this is the base. Hold on a second. Are you there?
Yeah.
For some reason, the screen went away. Okay. All right. All right. The first one, build your list. Now, this is the heart of the whole thing. Let me go back. Start from zero. Your list. This is so important. This is where you actually are making the list of people that you know, and this you always ask people that you don't know. This is something that's a skill, obviously, and we have given several webinars where we talk about how never to run out of names. But I think this is so important. It's when you build a list of people. It's the first step. The second step is connection, and what I told you today is part of that connection. When you connect with people, and again, the connection is not only in person or over the telephone, but even when you are writing messages on Facebook or text messaging. Now, this is when you connect with people, and then when the person is curious, then you go to the next step, and it's a presentation. And a presentation really is to send the person to a place where they are going to see the information, to a tool. And the tool could be your internet. For example, today I did it 3 times. I sent people to the video experience Isagenix. But anyway, you send the person to a tool, and then if they want more information, you can send them to a webinar, or if they want just to sign up, you just talk to them, or you invite them to a presentation in your home or wherever there is a presentation. This is what a presentation means. Is when you are sending people to a tool, and the tool could be a video on the internet, a magazine that you are giving them, and then also sitting down with you in your home where you're sharing them videos. The next one is the follow-up, and that's when you follow up with the people, and this is so important. This is where you are going to be closing people, asking for referrals, etc. And these 3 steps, these first 3 steps that we have here, they are so important because these are the ones that you are going to do every day. Now, even adding building your list is also a very important thing, a very important part. Whoop, I erased it. But anyway, building my list is also that you get something that you do every day. And these are things that you do: connecting, presenting, and follow-up. And it's really simple because, again, connect with a person, send it to a presentation, follow-up. Connect with a person, send a presentation, follow-up. And at the same time, you are always adding new names to your list. And then teach others to do the same and repeat the process. As simple as that. I know it sounds really simple because it is really simple. Still, we have to learn some skills on how to build a list. That's why we did our webinars on creating unlimited amount of names, the connection, the presentation, and that's using the tool. The follow-up, we have the scripts, as you know, on the websites, and teach others to do the same and repeat the process. As simple as that.
And George, actually, we have a question here whether these slides will be available for us to look again.
Yeah, yes, they are. We have something really similar already, but this is an updated version. Yeah, it's going to be updated. It's going to be as a PDF file. You can see it. And you can teach it. Actually.
Yeah, good.
Really cool.
And by tomorrow evening, we will have this recorded webinar up at the howtogetgoing.com site, and the PDF file of the slides will be at the bottom of it.
By the way, before I forgot, I know if there is any other question, make sure you're writing down ready for send it. But the 90 days that we started about 90 days ago is going to be over this Sunday. However, I'm going to keep sending recordings, etc. And we are going to start another one on the 14th, January the 14th. And I'm really excited about that one because that one is basically 90 days that we're going to have. I learned a lot from this one. That one is going to be way better and more aggressive. And with all the new tools that we have already and the new tools that they're going to be releasing in January, and with a couple of extra bonuses for the compensation plan, hint, and new products, is going to be very fun. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually, Chris is actually commenting that let's see, why. I'm excited about the why sharing. I had not heard that to add this before, but it makes perfect sense. And it definitely makes a big difference. I know it made a big difference when you shared Isagenix with me. You mentioned why you were sharing. And you used that line that you learned in 93.
Yes, that's right. And guys, that's so important, the why you share, because seriously, sometimes people can see you like you are trying to sell them something, but when you are talking about why you are sharing with them, and if you know something about them, it's so powerful. Like, for example, if they say, the person is saying, I would like to live in a bigger house, and the reason I'm sharing with you is because I know you and I together can earn a fortune, and I know you can get that house that you want, or you can have that vacation that you want, and we can do it together. I mean, you can. The more you know about the person, that why you share is even better, because you can get so deep into that. As a matter of fact, I think we can do a whole webinar talking about how to talk to a person that information, how to get the information, and then sharing with them, because this is the most important part. You are going to realize that your sponsorship goes up, and also when you sponsor somebody that you know so much, and you also say that you are going to be working with them, they become really close partners with you, and you can create great partners doing that.
Yeah, there's my reminder that the webinar should be starting. Huh?
This is the start. We are in the wrong time zone.
Okay. Great. So actually, well then, George, if there are no other questions, then let me just see here. One more question came in.
Guys, make sure you ask questions. Right now we have a lot of time, because I did on purpose this short webinar, because I know how powerful it is, but at the same time I wanted to have questions.
Okay. Actually, Maria asks, how can you use that fourth step with someone you just met? About what you can, the sharing part, about what you can do together.
Yeah, the same thing. As a matter of fact, the first three are exactly the same. The first three say, let me tell you what happened to me. And then you say, before Isagenix, I was in terrible shape. And now, I feel incredible. They're paying me. And the reason I am in this is because I know in a year or so, I'm going to be totally retired from my job. We are going to be having vacations with my family. And the reason I'm sharing with you, because I know I'm looking for partners like you, that together we can even go faster on this. And the other reason, even though I don't know you very well, It's because I know every time somebody improves their health and their wealth, we are creating a better society. I love to cite always that, and this is the truth, because when a person feels good and he has more financial freedom, well, they have a way better life than if they're not. But that's something that I always use. Um, but again, that's number four. In that way, you adapt to the person. It's why one of the reasons. And let me rewind. One of the reasons we have the other script, the one that we ask people if money and time were not a problem and you have all the energy to enjoy them. I'm sure most of you on the call have heard that one. We have a webinar about that one. When you ask if money and time were not a problem and you have all the energy to enjoy, what would you do? And then you start asking, what would you buy? Where would you go? Who would you help? And then you ask, doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you to do those things? And when a person says, well, never, say, well, the reason I'm sharing this with you because all those things are possible. Will you be open to find out more? Can you imagine? I mean, it's why it's so important, guys, asking the right questions. And it's why the question that I just tell you, the if money and time were not a problem and you have all the energy to enjoy them, it's one of the best openers when you are talking to somebody that you don't know, and even people that you know. And then you insert the story and why you are sharing with them. And that just with those questions, you get so much information. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I do want to really uh, underline the part of if money and time was not a problem, because many times we run across somebody that we think, oh, they don't need to make any more money and so on, and that might be true. Well, actually everybody can always use some extra money, but in my case, I remember I was doing a great six-figure income, but I had no time because I had to work 80 plus hours each week, and any alternative that I would have found at that time, that would have, I would have listened to that. So let's see, any guys, remember we have some time today for questions. Just go ahead and, okay, there we go. Basically just comments.
I have a question. It's interesting. Somebody is listening to the call, but it's not on this webinar. He cannot ask questions, and he just asked me a question. He said, how many times a day you have to do this in order to be successful? Asking this question. And I said, many times that you want. You want to go faster? Tons of times, but a minimum of 2 times a day. When you are asking a question or telling your story, at least 2 times a day telling your story. It's really powerful. You can post it everywhere, and as I said, send me text, etc. Yeah, we have some people that are listening to the call, but they cannot ask the question.
Yeah, and actually, if you want to ask a question, you can actually text it to George or to myself on our cell phones.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so somebody's here asking, is no more webinars till January? Is that correct?
Okay, let's see. Today's 11th. The next week is the
10th. The 10th.
Yeah, the next one would be the 17th.
Yeah.
We probably are going to have one more the 17th.
That's correct.
Yeah, next week. But then after that, the next webinar is going to be actually after convention, because the convention is the 3rd through the 6th. Yeah, on that Monday, we are coming to a convention, correct?
Yeah, New Year kickoff is from the 3rd till... Yeah, we will be traveling on that Monday. So we won't have a webinar then. So the next one will be second Monday in... the second week in January.
Yeah. And although it is possible, because the Monday... Well, it's possible that we will announce a special webinar just for the after convention. That could be around Wednesday. but we are not sure yet. We will know when the closer we get to the date. But probably I would not be surprised if we do something on Wednesday night that is like after convention because it's so much the good information that we are going to have. Although if you are connected through Facebook, you are going to receive all of that information plus the for Isagenix, but also from us. But a lot of great things are happening, and for those of you that are going to be there, you're going to be really, really surprised.
And it's funny that you're actually calling it a convention because the first January event that we attended probably had just about 50 people.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, it's to be called top achievers,
Yeah.
and was only by invitation.
Yeah. Now
And the
it's
first one they were 50, then to 100, then to 200, and then to I think it's 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago when they decided to open it.
yeah, New Year kickoff.
Yeah, maybe 3 years ago.
Great. So hold on one second. Okay, and Chris is asking to restate the question. If time or money was not a problem,
And you had all the energy to join them, what would you do? And then the second one after, by the way, when you ask that question, make sure you ask the person, in case it's kind of shy answering, what would you buy? Where would you go? Who would you help? Where would you live? I mean, we have a webinar about that. It's one of the webinars in how to get going about this question, specific question. And then when the person answers all those things, then the second question, a big question is, doing what you are doing now, how long will it take you to do that? And let the person talk. And one of the things that I love to say is how that makes you feel. After the person's telling me, oh, never is going to happen, or in 20 years or 40 years, it's how that makes you feel. And then it's when I say the risk, you can say it a different way, but one of them, would you be open if you find a way where you can actually get the money and the time to do all those things? And the person say yes. You say, well, that's the reason I'm just sharing this information with you if you already told your story. And then you send the person to the information, could be a tool or inviting them to sit down with you. You never give the whole information to anybody when you are just having the first conversation, because first of all, in 90% of the cases, you're not going to have enough time.
okay, perfect.
I hope that helps. Chris
Well-
was the one that asked.
Okay, well then let's get going here, and I know everybody wants to really conclude those 90 days on a high note, and this is the week that we definitely can get started in doing that. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight, and George, thank you so much for giving us a fantastic presentation and making it so simple with this particular graph, and with how to prepare your story, which is one of the first steps we need to make with every brand new associate, so that they know exactly what to say. So good night, everyone, and good night, George.
Okay, thank you. Good night to everybody. And I see you the 18th. And guys, this year is going to be amazing. The 18th, by the way, is 3 days before the end of the world. I'm joking, obviously.
That's if you're Mayan.
Okay, okay guys. See you
Good night,
later.
everyone.
Bye.